Welcome to the cereals event site for 2026. We are standing in front of the Diddley Squat Farm shop. It is the end of August 2025 and we're here to drill the Oilseed Rape plots with Niab's trials manager Sean Coleman. We are actually standing in the Niab soil hole, or where it will be in 10 months time, and we're taking a look at the soil profile. We are trying to understand how we're going to cope and how we're going to drill lots of plots in a very, very dry, very, very stony soil. So I'll hand you over to Dave Clarke, our soil specialist from Norfolk, and he will talk a little bit more about the soil hole and the soil type we see in front of us.
So we've done a small test bit to have a look at the soil for next year's cereals site. You can see here we've got quite a shallow topsoil profile down to about 30-35 centimetres with quite a high limestone sort of stone content, probably up at 40%-ish. And then as we get down into the subsoil, or what's a very small subsoil layer, and then we hit the limestone at about 35 to 40 centimetres. This quite solid limestone obviously hasn't been moved. Historically, the cultivation is concentrated in this top 25 to 30 centimetres, and you can tell that as we get this soil around the limestone is a lighter colour. We haven't had the incorporation of that organic matter. Now that limestone is pretty solid down at 35 and deeper. This is limestone formed in seas about 168 million years ago. Will go down in some places up to 30 metres. So really quite a small topsoil profile to work with in terms of agronomic value. But actually, as you get into that limestone, we can see that there's some roots working its way through the pore space between the limestone, and that will help the crops in the summer as it gets drier. And it will also, one of the key properties of these soil types is free draining. So as we get heavy rainfall, obviously the water will be able to find its way through that, which again valuable when we're trying to get onto farm and do the operations. You can see some of the root structure is holding that soil profile quite well, and hopefully in June next year we'll be able to see that even more in the crops that we grow on top of the soil pit, and how their different rooting structure interacts with the soil profile, and in some cases hopefully into the limestone and deeper, getting water and some nutrients from down there. We're also looking at sort of what we might grow. We want to grow things that are topical and typically grown on these sorts of soils, and demonstrate how their rooting profiles change. While we're here, we'll also do a topsoil sample that'll send off to the laboratory analysis for topsoil nutrients, so we can provide people that are interested some bit more background information on the soil. We'll also do some soil health measurements in the spring when the soil moistens up a bit. We'll do some earthworm counts, a visual evaluation of soil structure. Can't really do this at the moment. The field's only recently been cultivated and obviously very dry. Ideally, you'll wait sort of 6 weeks after cultivation with some soil moisture there. We'll do some earthworm counts to try and quantify some of the soil biological activity, as well as some other soil biological measures that the lab can do. So I look forward to showing you around the soil pit next June.